You are live. So,
Awesome.
okay, that's great. Let me just check something. Piece of crap. So yeah, we are live. No, I don't want you to go to
Patrick, get down, please.
no, everybody could see your sexy belly there.
Yeah. My son's getting into something. Patrick, get down.
Just throw something at him. He'll be fine. Do you got a boomerang?
No, I don't. I just have books in front of me. And
Oh,
I don't want to throw that across the house. Or at him.
so yeah, we are live, but I can't see us on. Um, I don't want you to go to. Uh, I'm worried if you go, then everything will go all echoey. So let me just check something really quick. Yeah, so we are live. One person is watching. Good. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, so we are live. I'm going to get off of that. So then that way. All right, so. Oh, darn it, I forgot to. Okay, so it's. Sorry, let me just send this out here. Okay, I'm just sending this out to um, a few. Um, all right, so. Okay, there we go. There we go. And let me. And we can get rid of this here. Oops. There we go. All right, just talk away. Can you read a little bit of Ogopogo while I fix this
Yeah,
crap
I'll
here?
read from this book. Monster Hunter. Or Hunt. Yeah, Monster Hunt. Certainly the most celebrated of North American lake cryptids, the Ogopogo has gained notoriety with monster hunters worldwide. The earliest reports of an Ogopogo sighting come from the various Native American tribes from the region. The Salish tribe called it the snake in the lake, Nahitich, and the Chinook tribe called it the great beast of the lake, or the wicked one. All the tribes believed it to be malevolent, and the Kolowana warriors would throw small animals into the lake as appeasement, hoping the creature would not attack their canoes. Just a small excerpt out of Monster Hunt. Some of basic information. In this book, it says it could be 15 to 20 feet in length. I've read up to 40 feet in a different book that I've read. It resides on Lake Okanagan.
Mhm.
Can't say it now.
Me too. I have a bit. Sorry.
Okanaga. There we go. And The most recent sighting is as late as 2000, according to this book here. There's a couple chains of thought. It could be a relic species of whale or a type of reptile, similar to Caddy, which is in the Pacific Northwest as well. But that one's closer. That one's on the coast. Little information about the lake. It's about 80 miles long and 3.5 miles wide. Average depth is about 200 feet. Deepest spot on the lake is 750 feet deep, if I remember correctly. So.
And what was I gonna? What did you say earlier today when I messaged you? And earlier we're having problems with our sound. And hail Satan, wherever you are, probably was Satan too. Um, what a horrible name for hail Satan. See what I mean? You hear that? It drives a kid crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's weird today? I even talked about the not poltergeist. You know what movie I've never watched fully?
No.
You're not going to believe this. The Exorcist, and this came through. The Exorcist on my phone. Let's
That's creepy.
okay. Let me send. I'm going to send James a just to see if he could come into the chat. Let me invite. Okay, let me copy. Man, this technology these kids do. Hope James isn't a psycho. If he's a psycho, I mean, that's going to suck. Paste. There we go. Okay, so let's see how James could get in. Now, if James is crazy, oh, he just gave me the finger. No, it's a thumbs up. He gave me a thumbs up.
Well, that's good.
All right. So hopefully James isn't gonna. I hope he's not crazy, man. So it's probably Satan. Oh, what you know what the movie was? Give me a few. All right, he'll be in a few. Um, um, Exorcist. You ever seen The Exorcist?
No, I
movie?
haven't. No.
Oh, don't watch it. Seriously, don't watch it. It will. I have not watched that whole thing without like doing this, like the Don Knotts look, like with the eyes just going.
Yeah.
And and here's the scary part. I'm an atheist. Hold on. Let's see. My friend Adam is great on sound. Oh, I thought. See, whenever I need Adam, he's gone. So, okay. So Ogopogo. That's the name that the native the native the natives gave. The like where the place is it's around Vancouver, right?
I don't know. I didn't look. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay. My mic on off back there, and I bumped it.
Yeah, something's going with your mic. Is that? Did you buy that today, or was that?
The same one that I've used.
Okay, because for some some reason tonight it just sounds god awful.
Even right now.
Now it's okay, but
Okay.
earlier, and then all of a sudden my sound started going all echoey and stupid, and it's probably I didn't even bring up The Exorcist yet. You know, that's the important. You got to see this doll that's down here. I got a doll called Annabelle that I used for a ghost show that terrifies my kid because I had it move its head. Anyways, that's another. Right now, it's actually moved its head twice. Maybe the acid's kicking in. So,
there. Okay.
So yeah, the sightings came from. Was it like uh, where Loch Ness came from? Saint Columba was one of the like the how the story he fought this. No, he saw a man getting attacked, and then he uh, went after the Loch Ness monster and killed the great serpent. Or I remember reading about it years ago, and it was Saint Columba that did that. But the where Ogopogo is, it was a glacier over 10,000 years ago, and it melted, and it's something like over 250 feet deep in some area, average 250, 700 feet wide. Are you looking at porn again?
No, I pulled the map up where Lake Okanagan is.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, instead of me
Yeah.
making stuff up, you could have thrown something in there.
Uh, you were saying you were asking where it was at. That's actually a decent drive from Vancouver. It's closer to Kamloops, Canada, British Columbia. Well, that's the largest town I can find close there. There's a bunch of little towns throughout the
But
lake.
where what's the lake called? The lake is called, oh,
Okanagan.
yeah, it's got a weird name.
Yeah.
And that name there was given by the native indigenous people. And then over the years, people have seen sightings of this. See, I have tons of pictures that I'm worried that if I put them up, so I wanted to discuss because one picture you look at this, somebody took, and it looks like, I don't know if I could share it. See, I don't want to
Pull it up.
touch
See what
anything. I don't want to touch anything without it blowing up. Screen share. I don't know if this will work. What screen share? No, I don't want to try that. All right. So, anyways, the picture is of a. It looks like the back of a humpback whale, or some type of whale.
Okay. Yep.
And
And on my notes, I've got theories of Ogopogo, whale variants, Zeuglodons or Basilosaurus, which Basilosaurus is actually improperly named. They thought it was a lizard. It's actually an ancient whale species that they thought was a lizard, and then reclassified, but the name stayed. But it's a very long whale with a sharp nose. It looks more like a snake than whale does. A modern anatomical whale. So
right, yeah, that's
yeah.
the pick. I had several picks that I wanted to show off, but the problem is, um, where's that pick? No, I don't want to chance it, man. Last time we did this, it blew up. So there are chicken lovers on. Hold on. Add to stream. Look, there he is. There's my gay lover. Did you ever meet my gay lover? I won't use your real name, Adam. My gay lover, Steve. Adam. Adam? I mean, Steve. You should have seen a second ago. It was like, and James McFadden. I hope he's not a psychopath. All right, let's bring him in.
I'm not
James, you
that
there?
crazy. I'm a little bit nutty, but I'm generally an okay
James?
guy.
I feel like one of these things is not like the other. Where's your beer?
Yeah.
No, the problem is, well, James is there. James
McFadgen.
Say again?
McFadgen. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, just
I
turn it
can
up a
hear you.
little bit, James.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
How's that?
Oh, that's way too loud. What the? Come on, man. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. All right. So your face looks weird. I'll tell you right now. Your face looks like all I'm seeing, and don't get angry. It's kind of like a circle, a white circle with a little. There's a little head, and then like an eye underneath it. I mean, you got to see a barber or something,
I
pal.
was born with this really strange birthmark on my face.
See, I wish you told me that earlier. I feel bad, and people are gonna think I'm a goof for bringing that up. I didn't know. It's like, remember Cheech and Chong when they were looking for weed, and he looked over it, and he told Chong, he said, "Whatever you do, don't look at my cousin's birthmark." And then as soon as he goes in there, Strawberry, he, go, he goes, "I wasn't looking at your cousin's birthmark, man." So Adam's a technician. He knows nothing of Ogopogo. Well, he does, but it's different between us. But earlier, when me and Ben were speaking, it it was the sound. Now the sound's fine, but when I went live, it was on YouTube. Uh, it was horrible, Adam. The sound. James, were you there?
No, I was not.
You were lucky because it was horrible, and I was trying everything to try and fix it, Adam, or
Was it
Chicken.
echoing, or what was it doing?
It was lagging. Then first my sound was fine. Then Ben came in, and then Ben's sound started getting all weird. And then uh, I was like, okay, maybe it's got to be something at the bottom. It says, Cam and Mike, and he was fooling around with it, and I was trying to fool around with it. And I think the mistake was that I was because I muted it on YouTube because I wanted to see the comments. I didn't know that you could see the comments here, or else I wouldn't have gone on YouTube. But I think somehow because Ben also went on YouTube too. When he went on YouTube and I went on YouTube, we both muted YouTube, but it must have caused some major screw up, and
It could cause a loop if it was hearing itself there and then broadcasting back. So that's probably what it was.
that's what Satan said. We had Satan go on, and he's saying, now you guys have a loop. Now there's an echo, there's a loop. So I was like, you know what? Sometimes the devil is right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, sometimes, you'll like be trying to talk to the devil, and there will be the sound of all those screaming souls in the background. There's nothing that you can do to fix that.
Well, yeah, there is. If you do what I do, and I made a deal. A lot of people don't know this, but I am actually 872 years old, and I look spiffy. I look like a hood ornament. Adam, you got to hook me up with a light. Look at this. I look like I got leprosy or something. This looks awful.
Good ornament.
Better than your basement, but yeah, you're still a little pasty.
I'm not in my basement. I'm in my mansion. What the hell are you talking about?
Not in this
What basement? That's where the servants live. I bang the ground just whenever I want a glass of milk or something. I hit her with my tennis racket, the maid. I just right in the ass, and then she goes, "Oh, that boy."
Oh,
It's great. I don't even play tennis. That's the weird part. I just like to walk around with a tennis racket.
What's
No.
with the AT-AT rear up there in the back there?
What?
Your background picture, yeah.
No, that I made that. I made that with these hands.
Oh, it's like a 3D kind of thing?
Yeah. I with my scroll saw. A lot of people that are going, "Where's the Ogopogo shit, pal?" Like what?
yeah.
What are we talking about? Sound here? Where the hell is this sea monster? What is going on here?
Fill me in.
Well, we're discussing the existence of Ogopogo, which is in is his name Champ?
No,
that's a different lake.
Ogopogo
That's a different lake.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So
Champ is Lake Champlain.
yeah, that's right. Again, the
So a version of Loch Ness, basically, type of thing.
But yes,
kinda. But Ben doesn't know. You don't really know a whole lot about like sea monsters or Bigfoot or or any of that stuff. I got to be careful because when I say Bigfoot, the wife thinks I'm making fun of her or something. If
No,
you see, if
Ogopogo
you,
is a Canadian lake monster.
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
and it's in Vancouver, right? Like around Vancouver area, British
Within
Columbia.
within 100 miles of Vancouver is the lake.
Okay, and a lot of people, what I was 10,000 years ago, it was a glacier, and then it melted, and it's well over. Some parts of it are 250 feet deep. Some is more than that, and it's is it 700 miles?
750 feet deep is the deepest, and it's 80
Okay,
miles long.
it's 80 miles long. So
Yeah.
now
Are we talking about like Lake Champlain or
Ogopogo.
Ogopogo?
And it's on Lake Okanagan.
And how far back do like sightings go? Like how long of a thing has this been?
Well, this is Native Americans were the first to bring up, or not the weren't they the first to?
Yeah, they would actually make sacrifices across the lake.
With people?
No, they'd actually throw small animals in to the lake to appease the beast.
The lake monster.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So. Because with Loch Ness, it was Saint Columba went up against. He saw a man getting attacked by Loch Ness, and he
he said, "Hey, God says don't do that."
And and he that was the like on record or something. It was a record that, and that was a long time ago.
Yep.
What's this Ogopogo monster supposed to look like? Does it resemble anything else that
here, I'll call it in a second.
I think that Ogopogo basically is supposed to look like.
Put the Playboy away. What's he doing?
Like, the Ogopogo is basically supposed to look like a giant eel or something, I think.
Okay.
Well, I was going to screen share, but I don't want to screw it up. But I've taken a couple pics of it, and some of it looks like what you said, James, and the other looks like. You ever see the back of like a whale, like a humpback, and it has that little fin right at the back end, and it's got scars. Okay, there's a famous picture of this, and to me it looked like a whale, and I'm thinking, okay, but
I mean, there are primitive whales that are very not eel-like, but they are very much round and stuff like your typical like.
That's what Ben was saying earlier on.
They look like a very long porpoise.
Yes.
Yeah. That's Zeuglodons or Basilosaurus.
Is that the name in Harry Potter? Basilisk comes from that.
No, yeah, actually, Basilisk is the king serpent, which when they first found the remnants of the whales that we're talking about, the Zeuglodons, they originally thought it was a snake. That's why it's called Basilosaurus. And with modern technology, they found it's actually a whale species, not a snake species. So, and then the name just stuck. They didn't change it. So,
but I mean, Zeuglodon just is a cool name, you know.
Oh yeah,
or Basilosaurus, I should say.
Hold on, there's a jerk that just said he's got a stupid name too. John the Magic Weasel. Ogopogo is my wife's nickname for my junk. Why can't anybody take this seriously? Like, why do we always have to deal with childish people like that? I mean, because it's mythological. Oh my God, this guy thinks he's a comedian.
All I know is that if I was Bigfoot and I found out people were calling me Sasquatch, I would be a little bit pissed off and I would just keep hiding.
Yeah. I love Mitch Hedberg's bit on the Yeti. Oh, he James, what happened? You died. Then there were 3. This is just like the Genesis album. Hey, I'm Phil Collins. I'm the one with the talent.
You have too much hair for that.
Nobody remembers you guys. I'm Phil Collins.
So the Basilosaurus was for real. I just took a quick look, right? So there's, skeletal proof. I mean,
James, sorry, I gotta bring it
in.
Sorry, James. You came out there for a second. You back in?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry.
I'm trying to get my camera working because I got a shitty camera, and that's why I didn't want to. I mean, it's like I'm actually like better looking with the gray and white icon than I am if I started my shitty camera. So.
Nah, James, don't worry about it, man. No one's here. No one's gonna judge you except for Chicken Lover. Yeah, dude, put that back on. Put that, whatever the hell that thing was. Put that.
Oh shit!
No, I'm kidding. I'm being a jerkwad. Okay, so the John the Magic Guy. If you told me John, I know John the Magic Guy. I'm going to be interviewing him probably in the next 3 or 4 days. He's an amazing magician, and he actually taught me a thing or two about magic. So, anyways, that'll be another time. But thanks, John, for chiming in there and being rude. That's very. What is that?
Does someone have an air compressor running?
Is that? Hold on. That's somebody's mic. Let me mute. Okay. Your mic. Do you guys hear me?
Yeah. It stopped when you muted your mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gods don't like you.
Yeah, what the hell was that? That's like we've been having nothing but sound problems the whole. That was weird. It sounded like a washing machine. That's not me. Now that's James. See what I mean? So James, I'm going to bring you back in. So James, you're back in, James. So can't unmute the guests. Well, I just did. See, it happened to James too. So when I muted him, all of a sudden the sound is okay now. I don't know what like.
Wait, I have an idea here. Hold on. How's that?
I don't know what you did, but it works, I guess.
I have my camera, and that has a built-in microphone, and I have another microphone, and I have them both running at the same time. And so I just turned off the second microphone, so it's just my camera and microphone that's built into it. So
yeah, but James, how would that affect mine? Mine went all stupid there earlier.
I don't know. Technology is voodoo.
Yeah, so is that. Do you have the head of an Ogopogo, or is that an X you got hanging on the wall back there?
Well, I'm going to tell you. So, my girlfriend moved into a house several years ago, and she was like,
James, it's yours. It's your mic. It's James's mic. It's not yours, Ben. Okay, so when someone talks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself, and then I'm going to mute Chicken Lover. Ben, keep muted, and then we'll see how that goes, okay? Now, go back on you. Thank God only like 2 people are watching this, and they're pretty stoned. Now, it's James. It's your sound. Chicken lover. Okay, hold on. Add to stream. Chicken lover. But you're on there again.
I'm just testing sharing the screen.
Okay. I'm going to add you to see if that does anything. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Let me just try and bring James to see his story. He was James, turn one of those mics off and turn the other one back on. All right, well, play with it, James, and then we'll see. I'll try and bring you back, and hopefully you could somehow resolve it. I'll bring you back in like 3 minutes, okay? I promise. Okay, so this is the beast here. The Basco. I can't read that.
Basilosaurus?
Yeah, I don't have my. Hold on.
He's got to get Ben to unmute himself so he can chime in.
All right. I don't even wear glasses. That really hurts. Okay, go on, Ben.
All right. Where is it?
James, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, James, go on with the story. I cut him off.
Oh, it's okay. So basically, her landlord-to-be was packing up a bunch of like random shit, and she had this giant T-Rex head sitting.
Go a little louder.
How's that?
Yeah. Okay.
And she's like, I don't know what to do with this. And I'm sitting here in her house looking at this cool ass like dinosaur head, and she's like, do you want it? I'm like, yeah, I want it.
It looks like an Allosaurus.
I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, it's like there's so much like artistic license taken with like a T-Rex or an Allosaurus. It's hard to tell them apart, you know.
Wait a minute. Is it one that you could buy from the store or someone made?
I think it's one that you can buy, but I don't know where she got it from.
Okay, because I think I know where she might have got it from. Those are pretty expensive. I know the store that had it. Adam, do you remember the store in White Oaks? The really had really cool art in it, and one of the things that were on there, you could get you could get a head, you could get head, and you could get head of a. I was waiting for you to just, if Magic John was still here, that piece of dirt, he would have been in there like a wet sack. So,
the thing is, do you want like a little head with a lot of teeth?
You know what? Hold on, man. I'm happy with any. I'm happy with as long as Medusa doesn't.
I mean, if like Medusa comes up to you, you're going to be rock hard. So I mean, don't complain.
Oh, that is a cool pick, man. Adam, how did you?
Ooh.
One looks more like what's on James's wall, more of almost like the alligator type of head.
I mean, that's more like a Ray Harryhausen kind of dinosaur head right there.
Yes, I love Ray Harryhausen. One of my favorite movies is Clash of the Titans. Well, actually, pretty much all of his movies are my favorite. Adam, how did you share that?
At the bottom there is a share screen function.
Yeah,
they allow, and then it'll choose from a drop-down menu all the windows that you have open, so you can choose which you want to share.
Okay, I just want to try.
It's a little easier for me because I have dual monitor, so I put the picture I wanted on one of the monitors, so it's easier to share.
Okay. I just wanna. That is a beautiful. If anyone here been to Ripley's in Toronto, the aquarium?
No.
Okay, because there's a creature. kind of like that, but there's also like giant turtles. Uh, um, I took so many beautiful pictures of these giant fish, and one of them was this really cool looking turtle that I swear to you must have been like it must have been 8 feet. Just the shell alone was 8 feet. So I'm gonna try and share a pic. Let me see if this. So it says share screen. It is it is easier with two monitors. Well, I don't have two monitors. Okay, share screen.
Here, I'll stop sharing mine.
What's this? Will you allow share to see your screen? Allow. Yeah, it's not letting me. I don't get it. I had a really cool pic. Share screen. Share screen. Never allow? What? Windows or share the screen? Up yours. So what did it ask you to do something, Adam, when it said share screen?
So share screen, there's the screen sharing tips. You say, yep, share screen. And
Yes.
then there's a little drop down menu. It says select window or screen. So you go into that drop down menu.
Yeah.
Choose what it is you want to share.
Entire screen did you pick? Because there's a picture. 50 sightings. Hold on, let me just check something.
Choose any one of them, then hit allow.
Okay, all right. I got it. So this is it. Here's the pic. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
It's loading.
Okay, so that's the what people have noticed on that lake. All of a sudden, like if you notice that that's not a freak wave.
No.
That is something in the water.
You know who's
that's a wait.
Yeah, but you could tell like around like if you look around that, it's tapered on both ends, and then right in the middle, something's there. Something large. It's not just a grown man couldn't do that.
No.
Something bigger.
I mean, that has something that's designed to live in the water.
Yeah, so that's what people are, that's what's freaking people out, and that's what the indigenous people over the years, the sightings. I mean, some of these sightings, I'd have to say, are better than some of the other monster lakes around the world. I mean, this looks good. And the guy in the canoe is just sitting there. You could tell he's not going forward. He's kind of, surprised by this thing. It's like this thing just showed up.
I can share the sighting from August 24th, 2000.
Okay, so I'm going to remove it. Okay, it's removed. Okay.
I'm just going to be reading this out of a book, so. On August 20...
Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry, James? I apologize.
No problem. On August 24th, 2000, cancer survivor Daryl Ellis attempted to swim the entire 80-mile length of Lake Okanagan in order to raise money for cancer research. When he reached the middle of the lake, Ellis claims that he witnessed two long, grayish-black creatures undulating beneath him in the depths of the lake. After about 2 hours of swimming alongside these creatures, Ellis started to get nervous, so he swam to the spotter boat and got on board. Clearly shaking, Ellis refused to return to the water. Finally, he overcame his fears and re-entered the dark waters, where he came up close to one of the monsters whose eyes were as big as grapefruits.
Wow.
And what was the date on that?
August 24th, 2000. So
I've not heard of that
Well-
story.
I've never heard of that story, and I've been looking.
You know who'd be a good person to consult to like talk to about stuff like this is Scott Martis. He has a he's been researching Lake Champlain for years, and if you're interested in this kind of stuff, he would be a good person to talk to about it. He's probably heard of that story. But the thing about
Well, I'm sorry. What was his name, James?
Huh?
What was
Martis?
that? What was his name?
Scott Martis. The thing I find interesting about lake monsters in these larger lakes like Okanagan and Lake Champlain is that you don't. I mean, it's easy to misidentify a larger fish like a sturgeon or something like that, but you don't hear about that happening in smaller lakes where potentially lakes like sturgeons are located at. You only hear about these larger creatures happening in larger lakes where there's actually room for a larger creature. So I feel like, that points to it more than likely either being like a very large species of sturgeon that can't exist in a smaller lake, or it actually is some creature that we're not familiar with. I mean, all these anecdotal stories of like a giant creature is like not everybody's going to misidentify a species of fish. And even if they did, if they suddenly said, "Oh, here's a picture of sturgeon," they would be like, "Oh, you're right. That's definitely not what I saw." I mean, that's definitely what I saw is a sturgeon.
Yeah, and
Or a gar.
that's the thing that a lot of people out there, when you see something freaky, it can. I mean, that what you're seeing, what I put on the screen there. The problem that I'm having here is that could be just a lake. I mean, a boat, and those. I've been out on the ocean where a big boat has gone by, and about a minute later, you'll get waves like that. So the problem is, this is not a great representation because that could easily be,
But
just.
not a single wave like that, though.
Pardon?
Not a single wave like that. You would see some repetitions, and you're not seeing that.
Yeah, that's the thing is that it doesn't look like an oscillation kind of formation there. That looks more like there's like something like under the surface creating those shapes. It doesn't look like waves unless it's just like a different kind of wave than what you would think about.
Yeah, but some waves, they call them rogue waves, right? Where all of a sudden, a wave will hit, and you're like, "What? What the heck was that?" And you look around, and you're like, "That happened when I lived at Professor's Lake, and Professor's Lake was nowhere near the size of any of these lakes." Let me get that there. Here's I'm trying to get this guy. This is the one that, yes. So no, that's not the one. Hold on. This is the one that I think is. The problem is, come on. It's not letting me open up. Well, you're a piece of crap. You're a complete nutter. There's this thing here that looks really, really cool that I'm trying my best to. There it is. No, but that's Champ. See, let me just show you what. There's a famous picture of Champ. And this is the picture that I wanted to show off. That
It's one of the kind of looks like a brontosaurus neck and head, kind
yeah,
of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your browser has blocked your screen. Click on the icon in your address bar to allow access to reload. What? You suck.
Here, hold on. I know what picture you're talking about. Let me see if I can find it.
Screen share. Click on that. Huh. I don't know why it's not letting me. So screen share.
Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me bring yours. No, it's not. Yeah, I'm seeing yours, but I don't know why it's not letting you share add to screen. There you go. All right, you're on.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Go.
So there.
That's the picture I was trying to
Yep.
bring in. Go. Can you go a little more into that?
How's that?
There it is. See, that to me is more like if I saw that, I'd shit myself.
Here's the thing: is that I feel like with regards to like the Ogopogo and the thing that's in like Lake Champlain, based on like reports, are two different animals.
Yeah.
Like the thing that we're seeing at Lake Champlain is closer to what they're like reporting supposedly in like Loch Ness, which I don't know that I believe that there's a animal permanently living in Loch Ness. Maybe there's one that's transitory, but I don't think it's there like all the time. I think it maybe like comes in there for shits and giggles. But I feel like what we're seeing in like Lake Champlain is definitely like a full time resident. You just don't see it very much because it doesn't need to come to the surface very often, you know. And
Well,
that
it
right
depends on
there,
what. And there's that one is the famous. When I was a child, when I
Loch
saw.
Ness.
Yeah, and that turned out to be a submarine. A guy made a model out of that.
he take like a perfect neck. He did like a really good cutout, put it on like a submersible like toy, and put it in the water, and he fooled people for like 80 years.
But see, this is
Yeah.
something that I would do because the guy, why he did it out of spite. Because
He did it as a joke.
no, because what happened was is he was working for a paper and he grabbed a hippopotamus foot and was putting the foot up on shore, and a guy that worked at the zoo saw that and said, "That's not a prehistoric animal. That's a hippopotamus foot." So it got him embarrassed, and he was really pissed off. So it's called the surgeon's photo because he thought the only way I could fool people to believe this, because it was like he got paid a lot, like $1,000 back then or something. I'm sure he did. But anyways, if the surgeon said, like, it's different. See, if I say, "Hey guys, I saw the Loch Ness monster," you would go, "There he is, Vito on acid again," you know. But if a surgeon
You have
comes
acid?
along, a doctor or somebody, and they say, "I took this picture," you're going to believe them more. So that's why it's a surgeon's photo. But then on his deathbed, he admitted it, that it was his child's uh, um model submarine and just some uh, clay or something. So, because if you look at that picture, there's two pictures. If there was one all the way, you would see that this thing is super small, and it wouldn't go with the. It just wouldn't look right. So he took it close, and there was no way of comparison. Like you couldn't, like if there was
Force
something,
perspective.
yeah, like if there was something
Like
else in that water, that you could match it up with. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, getting back to Champ, I mean Ogopogo, it's turned into a like all of them, like Loch Ness, like all of them, they've all turned into tourist attractions. And my sister-in-law usually gives me she goes to Scotland a lot, or if she sees anything to do with Loch Ness, she knows that uh, I collect stuff like that. So she'll buy me. I got a whole bunch of Loch Ness stuff there. I got everything from they sell fudge. It's the Scots, and it's called the tin on it is made by Bendover and his cousin Phil McCracken. I Adam, I'm not Adam, chicken lover. Anyways, so anyways, that is yeah, it is. I have all these ornaments that I could put outside of Nessie. But yeah, my first love was the Loch Ness monster. Uh,
Well, because of the late nose neck you got there, lassie.
but yeah, Ogopogo, people in the mall wearing shirts.
Yeah.
Ogopogo shirts or a hat or whatever. So it's turned into a tourist industry.
Well, you can't really blame them.
No, I would see
I mean,
what.
the whole concept of it being a tourist trap is actually kind of what makes it any kind of like scientific research in the with it so difficult to actually carry out, because nobody wants to get involved with it. They're going to get like laughed off of it, laughed
Yeah,
out
but
of
they're
out of like any kind of like serious study. People are going to laugh at them. It's the same problem with Bigfoot research. No, I mean, it's like the touristy stuff is great for like the people that live there locally, but I mean, if you actually want to perform a serious study of the creatures, because there's so much hokum associated with with the concept of the animals even existing. I mean, nobody wants to touch it. No serious researcher will touch it, and I think that's uh, I think that's kind of tragic. On the other hand, I think it's like actually better that way, because people actually thought that these creatures really do exist. You would have the areas would be inundated with people who just want to kill them, and then they'd be extinct, and that would be awful.
Got I think we got a frozen veto there.
Yeah.
I think I mean I left him cold, I guess, with my observation of that.
He was left frozen in thought.
He's like,
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, we're old enough that growing up, just the mystery from any of the rumors or the little bit that you would see of, the popular ones obviously being Bigfoot and Loch Ness. I mean, there was so much mystery to it, so much magic to it, and while it's cool that we have the internet and we can communicate in a different way, and with the all the digital mediums, it's easier to get pictures of stuff. Everybody's got a picture on their phone, but and I don't begrudge that, but there was definitely a magic from when we were younger, and it was just just the myth and legend around something, because there was so little information out there.
Because I remember as a second grader wanting to make an expedition to go find Loch Ness. So I had paper drawings and everything.
And he's like, I'm frozen. Are you frozen? I'm like, no, I'm okay.
Nope.
So tell me about the first grader who wanted to do like an expedition.
I don't remember much of it. I remember I wanted to go to Loch Ness and use a boat and drive around and try and find the thing. 8, 9-year-old thinking with that, but
I remember
now it's like,
I was like you. I remember like wanting to do that too. It's like I remember like firmly believing that Loch Ness was the be all end all of like cool monsters that actually existed.
oh yeah,
I think that for me, it's like I've always tried to like be open minded. I'm sorry, I completely interrupted you. I apologize. Go on.
no, I was done with that thought. But go ahead. You
I
want to be open?
remember I read this book called Loch Ness Monster Solved. It was like 92, and it laid out like some very like clear cut stuff about why there couldn't be a creature that living long term in the loch. And like, oh, that all actually makes a lot of sense. And plus they did all the sonograms, not yes, sonar. It's like the loch is pregnant. Um, they did all the sonar of Loch Ness, and they didn't find anything. I think they found like a couple of anomalies, but for the most part, there's because like no, we definitely would find something if there's like a fleet of like strange like large creatures living there. Which is why I
Yeah,
say that if there's like anything substantial that's in the loch, it's not a permanent resident. It's like coming in there, you're like, oh, maybe there's like some like spare fish here that aren't in the Atlantic. That's what I think is happening. That somehow they're getting into the loch through like underground tunnels or something, and that's they are obviously based on like sonar, not living there all the time. They're like they're kind of like timeshare.
yeah, or kind of like another. Well, it's more of a river monster that's off the coast. Caddy. It's spotted anywhere from
Adenosaurus.
yep, anywhere from Washington all the way up the coast of British Columbia, which is huge area. So it's transient, not just sticking around in one spot.
Yeah.
So
What is going on with our
our
wayward
host,
comrade here?
I don't know.
Because he messaged me. I don't know. Is it his shindig that's like running this, or how did we all get in here?
Yep, he is the host.
Okay. Well, I'm planning to flag. You plant a flag, and you plant a flag. We'll all plant flags, and then we'll fight. Now, Cadborosaurus is interesting because they actually have. I remember like seeing a picture of that, and it's kind of looks like just like a very long neck, and there's not really anything else to it that I can remember of its anatomy. It's like an old black and white photo from like the 1800s, and the head looks like basically kind of like sort of like what you would imagine like a camel head would look like if it was suddenly like living in the sea.
Yeah. And that's what different reports with Ogopogo have been. And one of the sources I read that it could be a freshwater variant of the Kedwarosaurus. So see if I can find that picture quick. My book.
I did a quick search on kind of oldest living animals just now. And you've got whales and sharks that are, commonly known to live, I guess, like 200 years. You've got certain other kind of shellfish, like 400 years, and even some jellyfish that they're, saying could potentially be immortal in the way that they can regenerate themselves. So, I mean, even the idea of dinosaurs seems crazy, but we have enough proof to know that they did exist. You take those two things together. I mean, is it really that far off that some of these creatures would exist, given that, or that they would live that long?
I don't think so. I mean, like coelacanths have been living for like ever in they're basically unchanged. I don't think it's really that difficult to believe that you'd have, and like alligators and birds for that matter. I think it's just kind of like the luck of the draw. So I think that it's entirely possible that you're going to have isolated populations of creatures that are living in places where you don't expect them to.
Yeah.
As long as there's a breeding population that is stuck around.
Yeah.
They
By the
can stay
way,
anywhere. So.
Vito is trying to get back in. He stepped out the fire exit of the club, and he's trying to get back to the front door. He's trying to find his like wrist pass, but he dropped it in the alley somewhere.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
It's the internet version of like walking out the wrong exit.
yeah.
But no, I think that what you're dealing with in something like with Ogopogo or Champ is that you have an isolated population. Probably wasn't doing all that great to begin with before they got locked in to the areas where they're at. But for one reason or another, I think they're somehow managing to exist, if not thrive. It's kind of like that, like when you're like playing like Metroid and you're like dealing with like overwhelming odds. You get like 2 bars of health, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, but you keep on going. I think that's kind of what it's like for these animals. And it's also possible that some of the things that people are seeing is that they're seeing different kinds of animals that, because they're not seeing the whole animal, they're like, oh, I saw this and I saw this and then I saw this, and you have all these like anecdotal bits of evidence coming in, and it's basically just people describing different animals, but it's all being described as like one animal for one reason or another.
Yeah, misidentification and your mind filling in details that aren't actually there.
Yeah. And like people being completely unfamiliar with species that might exist in the area. But I mean, if you have people that live on the water, they see all kinds of like animals in that area, I don't think that they're going to misidentify something. I think that it's entirely possible that these bodies of water are like big enough and these animals are, elusive enough or aloof enough that they're going to stay out of sight a lot of the time. I mean, you have animals like the giant squid, like because they're, there's probably like a whole bunch of them that to go around. It's like people have actually managed to see one or two, but
it's not easy.
It's not easy. No, it's probably just like sheer luck, because there's probably like a lot of them. The odds are against them, not being seen.
I mean, look at the myth of the Kraken, and then everybody's saying it's BS, BS, BS for 100 years, and then a giant squid washed up on shore in Japan, and they're like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
So.
And you have the story, and there's like stories about. I can't remember where I read it. It's like one of those I think it was like in a book by Daniel Cohen, where he's describing a sailor walking across the deck, and all of a sudden saw a tentacle stretched out across the deck, and it was a huge tentacle, and was basically like wrapped around the boat. And based on that, they were able to determine the size of it, but I don't remember what the numbers were, what the kind of ship was, but it's just like a weird thing to think about, that you have like these giant creatures that live underwater and they come up every once in a while and like sort of like knock on our
oh, we're here, let's scare you.
Yeah.
I'm Ogopogo, bitch.
But yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So you have like all kinds of like creatures that exist from like the relic areas like alligators, um, coelacanth, sharks. Uh, I mean, obviously, conditions were good for different kinds of animals to continue going existing. Um, I feel like it would be naive to think that animals that we haven't seen are still swimming around, running around, jumping out at us every once in a while saying boo. But as far as like Ogopogo goes, um, yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of like reading about that. What have y'all read about it?
Well, kind of like I said, the different, like the Catosaurus, a freshwater variant, the Zeuglodons or Basilosaurus. I couldn't really find much more information than in my books online, and so I read more about the lake, uh, which I found interesting is it does eventually lead out to the sea, but because of dams, you can't easily go back and forth between that lake and the ocean now. But I mean, just like with anything, if it's dammed up, it's hard for anything to get through.
So
So
do you think that there's possibly a migratory population or was a migratory population that's essentially like locked in and kind of fucked?
yeah, it quite possibly could be. But
Now, are you referring to the Cadborosaurus or uh, possible like Zeuglodon or Basilosaurus populations, or all of the above being locked in?
I've I don't know. That's just some theories that I've read on. It could be a freshwater variant of Catosaurus and Zeuglodons and Basilosaurus are the same thing. They're just two different names for it, which would be a whale, like a whale species. So,
Right.
which is not totally unheard of because there's freshwater dolphins in, I think, the Amazon. There was freshwater dolphins, which is a whale. Well, oh, I can't. I mean,
I know
dolphins are whale species or type of whale. So
cetacean.
yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about. Um, but do you think that it's more likely that there is um, a reptilian species in these waters that we don't know about, or the cetacean mammal?
Let's see here. Because with both would have to breathe water unless, or breathe air, so they'd have to come to the surface more. And like I found, the most recent sighting was 2000, so that's almost 21 years ago. What happened to them? And why aren't they coming up for air if they are a reptile or mammal? Now, if it's like an amphibian of some sort, there's some amphibians who can breathe underwater. It's very limited, but it's possible. So,
One thing that one researcher has suggested is that it could be that it is a type of amphibian, something like a salamander, like a giant salamander, which there is precedent for that in places like Asia, which, if that's the case, and it would actually make a lot of sense that you don't see it a whole lot of the time.
yeah. Because those giant salamanders are very elusive. I watched a documentary 8 years ago on them, and they found like one, maybe two, and they spent a couple months over there trying to find them.
So. Is there not also proof of at least sharks being able to kind of move from salt water to fresh water, been able to adapt to a degree?
Bull shark can. Bull sharks can.
Bull sharks are assholes, apparently, too.
Oh yeah. Trying to think.
There was reports from the early 1900s, I think it was, where maybe late 1800s, maybe both, where was like a upper like New York State, some bull sharks, a bull shark came up into the river, into the shallows, and actually killed a few people.
Yep. That was actually. I can't think of. No, that is in New Jersey that happened. And that was what. That's what Jaws was based off of. And it was 19. If I remember right, it was in the 1920s that happened.
I think you're right.
And then bull sharks, the farthest. Patrick, no.
I'm sure there's a certain point where, as it's going into fresh water, that there's still maybe enough, salt in the water for it to work for them. But if you're, going back to you're saying that there's dams and stuff for Ogopogo, I mean, they would have had to have adapted to freshwater probably.
Yeah, and for bull sharks, the farthest they've come up in the Mississippi is 700 miles. But if I remember right, there was one that was recorded 2,000 or almost the end of a river in Africa. I can't find the distance.
What I feel like there's like an assumption that the animals in question were originally saltwater creatures, and maybe they've always been freshwater, and they just managed somehow to end up where they're at.
Yeah. But Vito did message me and said have me close the show out when we get a chance. But whales did evolve from land mammals. So what if, say it's something like a zoolodon, and it has the ability to come up on shore, move around a dam, and go back in? I was just thinking about that.
It's possible it could be something like where it would be like sort of like kind of like a cross between like a whale and a seal. But you'd think that if that was the case, that more people would see it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like whatever the case, whatever's like living there is probably like dwindling.
If not dead already.
Or if it's not dead already, yeah. That's kind of a depressing thought,
Oh.
Well, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and drop off of here. And y'all have a good night. It was good talking with everybody.
Yes, it was good talking to you guys.
Nice to meet you, James. And you too, Ben.
Yes, it's nice meeting you guys. So,
bye-bye.
Guys, have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye.